What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I thought we'd finish the year with a bit of a bang. I'm doing a double page 12 by 12 scrapbook process, which I don't usually do double pages, but I thought I'd dip my finger into it today. So I'm showing you some of the Christmassy things I'm working with. I've got some crepe paper things. In that purple folder are all of my November Patreon printables that are all Christmas themed. And then I have some Pink Fresh Studio coming up as well. And I think, look, I've talked before that Christmas isn't my favourite time of year, and I think this year I've only scrapped this page, I think, so far, or these pages I should say. I am up to scrapping the final couple of weeks from 2019, so no doubt I will be pulling these supplies out again soon, but I haven't done a whole lot of Christmassy scrapping. Let me know in the comments if you celebrate Christmas. Have you done a lot of Christmas scrapping, or are you waiting to get photos printed from this year, or do you print on the go and do a December daily type format album? Or if you celebrate a different holiday like Hanukkah, how you are celebrating that and how you're scrapping that. I have a lot of scrapping to catch up on. Last year, we took a whole lot of photos over Christmas. I think mainly because it was Violet's first one. She was 5 weeks old, and she was 5 weeks old. And so there's a whole lot of pictures. A whole lot. This year we didn't take too many, so that will be easier to scrap when I eventually get up to it. I really wanted to use that paper and with the house and all of the numbers, and I was thinking of putting it possibly in the center of two 12 by 12 layouts, so cutting it in half and having half on each of the pages, but it just wasn't working for me. I couldn't visualize it, and part of me just really hated chopping it in half as well, so I gave that one a miss. So these two photos are obviously of my kiddos, if you're a new subscriber, and I really wanted to just do a double page 12 by 12 layout and kind of showcase my favourite Christmassy photo of both of them. We didn't really get a good picture together just because our Christmas was pretty hectic, and getting a toddler to have a decent smiley photo with a 5-week-old is a little bit tricky, but we ended up we hosted Christmas breakfast and Christmas lunch at our house for different family groups, and it was a really big day. Violet slept a lot of it, which was handy in a way, but I loved it. It was a fantastic time. This is pre-COVID, I should say, so this is last Christmas 2019. So it's beginning to look like Christmas is one of my Patreon printables from November. If you're interested, the link's always in the description below if you want to check it out. And I wanted to pair that with I wanted to use up some of these really busy papers. I sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed. That green paper just has so much going on, and I get a little bit overwhelmed. Oh, here I'm doing a sneaky because I want to save the rest of that star paper. So I wanted to do a bit of a tissue paper ruffle, as seems to be my thing at the moment. I'm very rediscovering the tissue paper ruffle. Did it ever go away though? Really, from my pages? I had a bit of a lull, but we're back in full force, and I just concertina folded that piece of tissue paper. Now be wary, tissue paper is not acid free if that's something that is important to you. I am then doing a bit of a sneak, and I wanted to make sure that my layout was 12 by 12, so I'm sticking that paper down and then cutting off the excess of that star paper so that I could use it for a different page. I think when I find a paper that I really like, I do like to save it as much as possible. I added some thick washi tape on the back there just because there was a bit of a flap of paper and I didn't want it getting stuck and bulking out the page on the other side of the page protector. Then here's that little piece of star paper that I stole, and if I had one of those cutting mats that had all of the measurements on it, it would have been a lot easier to do, but of course I did it a slight janky way. But hey, that's how we do things over here in Inkie Land. Slightly janky, but we get there in the end. So for this right hand side of the page, I wanted to continue that star paper across, and then I really liked these little houses. Archie's favourite colour, much to my disdain. I'm kidding, he can like whatever colour he likes, but his favourite colour is green. And if you've been an inklet for any sort of amount of time, you'll know that green isn't my favourite colour. So whenever I have a photo of Arch, I do try and use green if I feel like it, because I know that he will appreciate it. If he looked at my pages, he would like it. And then Violet seems to like pink and yellow. They're the two colours of like blocks and things that she seems to gravitate the most towards, or if she's picking out bowls or spoons, they're the ones that she picks. So I thought this little pink house pattern was a very sweet little one to put on her side. Another tissue paper ruffle just to tie in the two pages together, and I am definitely no double page scrapbook layout expert. It's not what I usually do. I'm definitely a single page scrapper, and I just wanted to challenge myself for something new, and it's sometimes nice to give something a go, especially if you're using photos that you really love and papers that you really love. It's sometimes nice to branch out, because even if the page doesn't quite work out, you'll still love the photos and you'll still love the paper that you used. So hey, 2 out of 3 is not too bad, hey? So for this one, of course, I'm mounting my photos on white cardstock, and yes, I could print them with a white border, but sometimes I trim my photos down and that would just really frustrate me, having to chop borders off, and so I much prefer to do it the hard, difficult way. And I wanted to tuck Archie's photo underneath this Christmas wreath I designed, and have him kind of poking out from behind the foliage. And I just love this photo of him. He's not a huge fan of Santa hats, because he doesn't really like the furriness of the Santa hat part, the white bit, and so we had this elf hat and he loved it last year. He hasn't worn it this year. I don't think we had it out this year, but this photo is just such a little cheeky elf. Here I wanted my photos to be in line with each other, but I didn't want them right next to each other. So I decided to move it over so that my photo was overlapping the star paper and the pink house paper, just to tie in those two papers and make it a little bit more cohesive. And now it's time for the embellishments. Now this is when things can get embellishment heavy, especially when you've got new packets of things and everything, it just wants to be used. Everything wants to hop onto the page. And sometimes it's hard to control yourself and not stick everything on. So we're starting off with, I knew I wanted to use that Christmas tree because Archie was standing in front of the Christmas tree. And then there's a whole lot of these Santas in that Hey Santa. That's probably why there's a lot of them, because it's called Hey Santa by Crepe Paper. And I wanted to use one on here because, like I said, I haven't done a lot of Christmas scrapping yet, or any apart from this, and I know that I need to use up those Santas, because otherwise I'm going to use up everything else and just have a whole bunch of Santas left, and I want some variety in my embellishments. So I popped that one on the left, and then I have sped this bit up a little bit faster than usual because I did go through and stick a whole lot of things on, and I just wanted to make a bit of a flow amongst the two pages. I feel like when you start, you look at that left hand side and your eye's drawn to the big wreath design and the words, and then it goes down to Archie, jumps across the page to the embellishment cluster near Violet's left foot, and then it brings your eye up to the top embellishment cluster on her page. And I really love, creating a bit of a flow throughout my pages. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of double page scrapping, is because it's harder to make that flow, because you're working with twice the surface area and you've got more photos to compete with, and I just find it a little bit tricky. But I'd love to know in the comments if you are more of a double page layout scrapper or if you're more of a single page scrapper. And I think when you find a style and a process that works for you, you just stick to it. And that's definitely what I've done with single pages. But every now and then it's nice to branch out and try something different. I think it's very similar to people who do mostly single photo layouts and those who do multiple photo layouts. I think that you just get into a pattern and you find something that you love and you keep doing it over and over and over again, and that's fantastic and that's perfectly fine. That's the great thing about scrapbooking, is that there's so many different styles and techniques. Like some people love mixed media, some people run away screaming from mixed media, and that's okay. I didn't mix media on these pages, thank goodness, because there was a lot going on. I really don't think the page could have handled any mixed media. But yeah, bit of a tangent there, going deep and meaningful into the psychology of scrapping. As if this page didn't have enough stars, let's plonk on some more. So I've got my tiny little Fisker's punch, and which I think I would cry if I lost and wasn't able to purchase again. It is so handy. It is one of the best things. I'm not at all sponsored by Fiskars. Oh my gosh, imagine if I was. But God, it's handy. It's so good to just be able to cut out your own little glittery hearts. These, and stars I should say. These enamel dots are from Pink Fresh, and I do appreciate that they include a lot of small enamel dots on their pages, which is nice. And then there was a lot of stickering going on. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out where to put my journaling as well, and also trying to figure out if I need a title or if I can use it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas as my title. But I felt like over here on that right hand side it was missing something. If I had my typewriter, my electric typewriter plugged in and handy, I probably would have typed my journaling and stuck it in strips down the red polka dot paper. I think that would have looked really good. But instead, I decided to go gung-ho with the gesso and just slap that everywhere so that I could put my title. It was just going to be too busy without putting the gesso down first. And so it just gives me a bit of a base to work with. Ooh, can you hear the kookaburras cookering in the background? They're being very loud. Microphone might not be picking it up and I might just seem a little bit crazy at the moment. I promise you, I'm not hearing things. There are kookaburras. I call it cookering. It's not their real name, but what they do. What is the real name? Because they're not tweeting like a bird usually would. Are they laughing? What's Aussie peeps? What's the proper name for a kookaburra's noise? But did you know that if you hear a kookaburra cookering, it means it's going to rain in the next 24 hours? The more you know. I think that's an old folklore. But I promise you, it's never been wrong before. We are predicted for an entire week of rain and thunderstorms this week, so I think the kookaburras are on their weather game today. So then I decided to add a whole bunch of roller stamps, and as I do, once you start stamping, it's very, very hard to stop. I do love a good roller stamp. I think I was talking about, must have been a recent Patreon video, that I used to want to be a librarian when I was like 6, because I really love the way that they use the date stamp in the front of the books on the library card. Little did I know that I would one day be able to use my own roller stamps in my own videos, which is exciting. Doodly border time. So for this one, because it was double page layout, I only did the kind of external sides of the layout, and I left the spine free, because then it looks like it joins the two pages together. And this page is done. Let me know, or I'm just doing a little bit of writing down here, Violet's first Christmas, if it wasn't obvious enough. Pretty sure that's definitely her first Christmas, Adele. She's not only wearing a dress that says that, but she's pretty baby. She's pretty newborn. All right, peeps, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have a happy new year, and let's see what 2021 brings us, hey? It's got to be different to 2020, hopefully. Let me know if you'd like to see more double page process videos, and I hope you all stay safe over the new year. See you next year. Bye.